Welcome to another Arabic lesson. My name is Imran.
Hi, and I'm Anisa.
مرحبا كيف حالك يا أنيسة?
Alhamdulillah, tamam.
In today's lesson, we're going to conjugate the verb ذهب, which means.
He went.
But before we do that, I want to have a bit of a chat around actual learning the language. Now, obviously, learning languages, you probably come to this point where, all right, you've heard a few podcasts. Now it's starting to get a little bit difficult, having to memorize stuff and conjugate verbs and stuff like that. So, Nissa, for you, do you have any tips on how you learn the language?
Yeah, I guess I came back to Arabic quite a few times in my life. Like I did it in primary school, and then I did it again for a couple of years in high school, and then another year at uni. But yeah, I guess it was only when I came and joined your class with the sheikh, and then he really encouraged us to just get out of our comfort zone and just speak, and then having someone to practice with, which is we practiced a lot, someone that you felt comfortable practicing with and making lots of mistakes. I think that was key, because that really just helped me transition from all that written and just written and reading, the writing and the reading, to actually getting out there and speaking it.
I think speaking is an interesting dynamic because you need to use, whatever you memorized, and then it kind of travels in your brain. You got to also hear and listen to what they're saying, and also about timing in terms of when to say the right thing to say. Your brain is kind of going in overdrive. And I think the only thing that I can remember from my health science degree was that all this information goes to the Broca's speech area and everything gets processed and it actually comes out. And, you've always been in awkward situations where you might be saying something and then the other person just says something really quickly or out of context or some random stuff. That's just conversations that you have in a language that you're comfortable with. Imagine doing that in another language. So I think it adds to that anxiety as to why people are afraid to speak.
Because I think also body language is another factor as well, because you've got to kind of like read the person's body language and see, okay, are they actually getting what I'm saying? Am I speaking the right, am I saying it the right way? Am I saying it the right pace? Have I got all the right inflections? All that kind of stuff. And so if you kind of start getting panicky, then it it can really affect how keen you are to keep practicing speaking.
I still remember this one conversation that I had, and I had the answer like ready to go, and they were discussing. There were two people. I think one guy was an Egyptian guy, one guy was a Lebanese guy. They were just chatting. I had it all in my mind. I had all the grammar. Just as I was about to say it, the kind of conversation moved on. So I was like really annoyed that I couldn't say what I wanted to say. But it shows how, when you're trying to converse in another language, it's a great opportunity because you're using everything you have. But at the same time, that fear is what makes people really not speak.
And then they can be fantastic. Like they could know all the grammar rules. They could sit and translate a whole text, and maybe even interpret. Like if they're listening to an Arabic talk, they could translate it for somebody. But yeah, there's a whole lot of other dynamics at play. The more practice you get, I guess that's the only way to overcome it. And to just be prepared to make lots of mistakes. So, if you find somebody, you got to find someone you're really comfortable making mistakes with, and then that will help you overcome that anxiety.
I think that's really key. I think it's having someone comfortable that you're making mistakes with. And that's essentially how kids learn. Kids can speak so many different languages, can learn so many things. They don't care how they sound or what they say or making mistakes. And I think as adults, we have all that anxiety, we have all that kind of pressure on us, and we're just not comfortable making mistakes. So one is kind of overcoming that, but there are just generally some people that are just uncomfortable, speaking to rams. Like I'll speak to anyone. I speak to everyone.
Taxi drivers, people in the shops, just, yeah.
Even if they don't want to speak to me, I'm speaking to them in Arabic. And but that's just my personality. So I totally appreciate some people they might be shy.
Like me. I'm the opposite. I have to really get to know somebody before I'm comfortable, like busting out in Arabic with them. Like I got to know, okay, are they going to criticize me? Are they going to kind of stop and just look at me and go, what? I've got to really have that rapport with them first. So that's just how I am.
So I guess find someone that you're really comfortable with and that's on the same journey or can actually teach you, and really try to practice as much as you can. But if you don't have anybody, what should they do?
Talk to themselves in the mirror.
Talk to themselves. That's all we did.
Yes.
We had Arabic up literally everywhere, all over the walls, everywhere in the kitchen, everywhere, all the grammar rules, and we'll just talk to ourselves. And also that kind of internal conversation that you have in your mind. So like, oh, I need to go to the shops. أحتاج أن أذهب إلى الدكان, for example, or أين مفاتحي? Where's my keys? You know, all these types of internal conversations. Why not have them in Arabic? If you don't have anybody to talk to, just talk to yourself like a crazy person. And it's actually better to talk to yourself than actually talk to someone that is actually antagonistic. Because I've actually had a lot of experience. I don't know about you, Anissa, but I've had a lot of experience with people that are actually antagonistic to you learning the language. And I've found that often it's those people that are not confident in the language themselves. So I guess if they see someone that's not Arab trying to speak the language, trying to learn, they will actually put you down. So I've had a lot of put downs by people. I have a personality that I don't really care, so I just kind of keep on going. But for a lot of people that are shy, these put downs can have a really big impact on them. That's enough rambling from us. Should we cut straight to the lesson?
Yep, let's go.
So in this lesson, we're going to conjugate the verb ذهب,
Which is he went.
How you going, buddy?
Going good.
So in this lesson, we're going to go over the past tense, the fi'l al-madi, and we're going to, go over some conjugation with the verb ذهب. And what does that mean?
He went.
He went. The thing about the past tense is the key to remember how to kind of conjugate the verbs is to put everything at the back. Just whack it at the back. Yeah? It'll make sense in a second. So ana means I. Yeah? So ana, you put a ta with a dhamma at the end. Tu, ana dhahabtu. So we're talking about dhahaba, right? The word dhahaba, which is he went. So ana dhahabtu. So you just put that little ta with a dhamma at the end. Tu. You can try that. Ana dhahabtu.
أنا ذهبت.
You don't actually have to say ana dhahabtu. You can just say dhahabtu and it's understood. But I like you to say ana because it kind of just reinforces that, ana dhahabtu, nahnu dhahabna. I told you the next one. But alright, so what is we went?
نحن ذهبنا.
Nahnu dhahabna. So can you see how we put the na with the alif at the end? Nahnu dhahabna. Now for anta, what do you put at the end?
أنت ذهبت.
Ta. Anta dhahabta. Yeah, so you put a ta with a fatha on the top. Anta dhahabta. That means you went for a guy. To a guy. Anti would be?
ذهبت.
Anti dhahabti. So you can see how there's a kind of a pattern going on. Antuma, which is you two, went, would be antuma.
ذهبتما.
Antuma dhahabtuma. What's the word for you all? You all is antum, yeah? Antum. So antum.
ذهبتم.
Antum dhahabtum. 3 or more women is antunna. What would that be?
ذهبتن.
Antunna dhahabtunna. So you're adding on that little tunna at the end. There's a kind of pattern there for some. It doesn't work for everything, but you can kind of get a pattern for a little bit. Now, what's the word for he?
هو.
Huwa. So what would huwa be?
هو ذهب. ذهب.
Huwa dhahaba. It's just straight. Dhahaba. Huwa dhahaba. That's called the jidr. Yeah?
What is the word for she?
هي
Here, and what would that be? How would you conjugate ذهب for that?
هي ذهبت.
Here, ذهبت. So you put a ta at the end with a sukun on it, yeah? So you kind of stop. ذهبت. All right, what's the word for those two?
هما ذهبا.
Yeah, good. Huma is those two. ذهبا for two guys. Excellent. And you're talking about two women. What would that be?
هما ذهبتا.
Yeah, excellent. Huma. So huma is the same, yeah, whether it's masculine or like two women or two guys. Huma, but the conjugation is different. So it's huma dhahabata. So ta and an alif at the end. So three or more people. What would that be?
هم ذهبوا.
Hum, dhahabu. Hum is those three. Dhahabu. So we add a waw and an alif at the end of that. Yeah? And three or more women would be?
هن ذهبنا.
Hunna dhahabna. So again, hunna, we put a nun at the end, but we say hunna dhahabna. So it's not a like nahnu dhahabna with an alif. It's just na with a fatha. All right, I'm going to mix this up a bit. How would you say she went?
هي ذهبت.
Hiya dhahabat. Good. What would those two girls be?
هما ذهبتا.
Huma dhahabata. Yeah, pretty good, man. All right. What about I went?
أنا ذهبت. ذهبت.
All right. Thanks again, Inty, for that lesson.
Thank you for having me again.
No worries. And see you next time. مع السلامة.
We hope you enjoyed that lesson and look forward to having you join us next time. مع السلامة.
مع السلامة.